Hi everyone, welcome back to Steve's Garage. In a previous video, I changed the oil on my 2000 Volvo V70 using Valvoline Restore and Protect. In this video, I'm going to cover what I've noticed over just one oil change interval, or about 3,000 miles with this car. I have a friend who's been using it on his vehicles and has noticed some positive changes. I also watched some videos from the Motor Oil Geek. If you're interested in the science behind this oil and how it works, you should go check out his videos and his channel. He could explain it far better than I ever could. For now, I'm going to cover just a little bit of backstory so we know where I'm coming from with this vehicle, and then get into what I noticed over 3,000 miles.
I bought this car in 2019 and have always used Castrol Synthetic and a man filter during oil changes, but judging how I bought the car, I'm not sure the previous owner did the same. There was a lot of questionable work, there were some PCV issues, it uses some oil, and the buildup around the grates on the oil fill had me a little concerned. For those reasons, it seemed like a great candidate for Restore and Protect. My first oil change using Restore and Protect was at 119,000 miles, and the car now has just over 122,000. After draining the Castrol Synthetic I was using, I scoped the oil pan. The camera is low resolution, and it was a little difficult with the baffles and lack of light to get some decent footage, but you can definitely make out some varnish and possibly some carbon buildup in the upper left corner of the shot. That being said, I don't see anything to be alarmed over. It's got 119,000, it's over 20 years old, seems pretty normal to me. Also keep in mind that the pan was dropped and cleaned out when the PCV work was done, so this might look better than your typical car with over 100,000 miles on it. There's nothing of note from the oil itself, so I won't be showing that, but I will go over the oil filter. Keep in mind that this is after 3,000 miles of using Castrol Synthetic. So getting into the filter and scraping out some of the buildup, it's clear that it's just carbon and non-metallic, which is a good sign. Carbon is fine, metal is not. Of course, excessive carbon isn't good either, but I wouldn't call what we see here excessive. In my opinion, the amount of carbon in the filter is totally normal, especially with what I know about the car. With the sort of control out of the way, it's now time to use Restore and Protect. My plan here is to run the filter for 1,000 miles and then pull it off to inspect it. I want to be clear that that's not a suggestion from Valvoline. They say that you can run the oil straight through whatever your oil change interval is. It's gentle enough that it won't clog the filter, but I wanted to pull it for peace of mind. I won't be changing the oil, just swapping the filter and then topping off whatever I lost from pulling the filter off. Fast forward to 1,000 miles, and now we can take a look at that filter. There's certainly more carbon buildup than the previous filter, but again, not really enough to be concerned about, and still no metallic particles. As far as I'm concerned, this is exactly what I was hoping to see, because it means that Restore and Protect is actually doing something. It's breaking carbon deposits down inside the engine, and then the oil filter's catching those deposits. This check also made me comfortable letting the new filter go for the remaining 2,000 miles, since the first 1,000 didn't look too bad. And now for the final check that we've all been waiting for, 3,000 miles on the oil and 2,000 on the filter. Again, I'm going to skip the shot of the oil itself because it looks pretty typical for oil that I've drained out of this car. There's nothing of note, so I'm not going to waste your time. Others have noted that Restore and Protect has a pretty pungent smell, and I can confirm that. Even brand new out of the bottle, it's unique. Just know that if you have that smell with new or used oil, it's totally normal in this case. I did try and scope the pan again, but knowing how little I could see before, I didn't really get much this time around. It honestly looks the same to me, especially that area in the top left of the shot. I don't notice much difference, but leave a comment if you think there is. Right now I've got a cheap USB scope with some LEDs on the end, and I try to shine a flashlight in the drain hole at the same time. It's kind of a losing balancing act, so if you have any suggestions for a better scope camera, I'm all ears. Onto the oil filter itself. There are definitely more carbon deposits in it, but I wouldn't say it has twice the amount from the 1,000-mile filter. I also can't find any forbidden confetti in the filter or oil, just carbon deposits, so there's no catastrophic damage to the engine. The amount of carbon seems about the same in the center area of the pleats, but I think that there's more on the upper and lower edges of the filter. You can probably see some of the bits that fell out onto the paper towel while I was taking the filter apart. That didn't happen with the original Castrol or the 1,000-mile filter. Just like at 1,000 miles, this is exactly what I would hope to see. The oil is loosening up deposits in the engine and carrying them out to the filter. I'm also not concerned with the amount of deposits in the filter because I didn't have any indication of oil pressure issues, so for my next oil change, I'm going to run one filter for the full 3,000.
The last thing I want to talk about is a bit anecdotal, but I feel it's worth mentioning. The engine seems to have less lifter tick. Anyone familiar with these Volvo 5-cylinders knows that a little bit of lifter tick is totally normal, so I didn't think anything of it before using Restore and Protect, but in less than 1,000 miles of running this new oil, the engine seemed to get quieter. And that's why I think I noticed, because it happened so quickly. I do have a before and after clip, so take a listen, see what you think, or maybe I'm just crazy and I'm the type of guy that thinks my car's faster after an oil change.
If you've watched the whole video or just skipped to the end to get my opinion, my answer is yes. I think this oil is great. I'm going to continue to use it. I have started what will be my second oil change interval using Restore and Protect, and I'm excited to keep an eye on the engine and filter to see if it keeps improving. I don't see any evidence of it being harmful to the engine. It's clearly dissolving carbon buildup more than typical synthetic oil does, so I would not call this some snake oil product. What's your opinion on this oil? Have you tried it out? Are you willing to try it out? Or are you going to stick with what you know? Let me know your opinions or experience in the comments. If you want another video after this next oil change interval, please leave a comment and let me know. I'm more than willing to make something if you guys are interested in seeing it. If you enjoyed this video, please think about subscribing and check out some of my other automotive tutorials here. Thanks so much for watching.